Right. Hello, everyone. Then, as we discussed last week, and I just asked from you whether we will start the unit number 5 or 6. Then you told me that starting unit number 5 is better. I think, most of you said this one. It's a biology lesson, and also I mean that is the longest lesson or longest unit of this year. We have to at the dedicates of 5 6 weeks for this. And just first fact, you have to watch the video. After watching the video, you have to prepare for the Zoom lesson. And each Tuesday we are having the Zoom lesson, and the same day you can watch the video. This will be about 1 hour video. Right, let's take on the lesson. This is about the systems. I mean, the body systems. Body systems are seen in multicellular organisms, right? In multicellular organisms, then we are multicellular organisms. Our bodies are basically made of cells, then tissues, then organs and systems. Finally, the organisms. Organisms. So this is how the flow of the organizational levels. We have studied this in grade 10. Right. This lesson is mainly about these two, about learning about the organs and systems, right? So we have already covered the cell lesson in grade 10, tissues lesson in grade 11, and let's learn about different organs and systems in human body, right? First thing, we have kind of a doubt how many systems, how many body systems found in our body. There are different arguments, right? Different arguments in that. Wait 1 minute. Okay. Right. Different arguments between this. Some says that there are 8 systems. Some says more than that. Actually, how many systems or how many organ systems functioning in our body? The total number is 11. There are 11 systems. Out of that 11, 8 systems are major systems, major ones. You will be easily name those ones, those 8 systems, right? So recall them. Just you also can just try it at home. Check how many systems that you know. Right? If you want, you can pause this video, stop video for a while, and count how many systems that you know. I think you know digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system. Likewise, you may know some several systems. So let's see how many. Let's try to name all the systems that we know. Start from digestive system, respiratory system, then thereafter circulatory system, blood circulatory system, blood circulation, and thereafter excretory system, nervous system. I wrote 5 now. Some more. Reproductive system. This lesson has been already completed in grade 10. Reproductive system. What else? Yes, in our system, those ones are okay. Then skeletal system, muscular system, Now there are eight. Those are the eight major systems. Eight major systems. There are three minor systems. Three minor systems. Those systems are one is called endocrine system. Endocrine. Endocrine system mainly is about the non-nervous coordination. It performs the non-nervous coordination. Endo, wait, endocrine system. And the other one, exocrine system. Exocrine. Endocrine system contains the glands which secretes the hormones and other things. Exocrine system includes the skin and some several organs related to the external functions. Exocrine system, and last one is lymphatic system. Lymphatic system can also be called as uh, the immune system which provide the immunity or fighting mechanism. Now, how many systems I have written here? There are eight major systems, three minor systems. Altogether, there are 11 systems. That's the story about the systems, and we will start our lesson from this system, the digestive system. Today, we can discuss very important facts about the digestive system and the digestion. Let's learn about the digestion. All right, what are the things that we know about the digestive system? Uh, I will show you small presentation here. Then look at this. Here you can see small introduction to different systems. This is the digestive system, circulatory system, nervous system, excretory system, respiratory system, skeletal system, muscular system, endocrine system, immune system. And integumentary system means that the system that I said as the exocrine system, and the lymphatic system, finally reproductive system. So these are the ones that we will study under this. Let's go to the first one, digestive system. Digestion. Look at the major functions of digestive system. Digestive system. Take in food or ingestion. Digest food into smaller molecules and absorb nutrients. Also remove undigestible food, indigested food as the feces. Take in food, ingestion. Digestive food into small and smaller molecules and absorb the nutrition. Digestion, absorption. Finally, removing. This is called ejection. So basically, it's looks like this, situated in start from the mouth and finishes with the anus. Its appearance is like this. Then mouth. These are the organs, major organs: mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. And related organs are salivary glands, pancreas, liver, gallbladder. And while we are talking about this one, uh, we can learn how these organs are associated with the digestive system. So this is the basic introduction for the digestive system, digestion. Right. Then let's see. Uh, our digestive system has basically it has four functions, or it works in four steps, right? We saw that in the previous presentation as well. Presentation means small uh, file, small note. Those ones are we take in food, right? 1 minute. So we take in the food, and then after we uh, remove food, indigested food. In between taking in and removing, there are number of processes take place, right? Digestion is not a simple one. Digestion means breaking down food into simple absorbable form, and also thereafter absorption should be there. Digestion, first ingestion, then digestion, absorption, finally ejection. Now I said all four major steps. First one, take in food in. It is called ingestion, and uh, breaking food into small pieces is the digestion. Then absorption, finally ejection. So this digestion is of two types. This digestion, mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Now, as a basic step to find a definition for this digestion, let's describe what is mean by the mechanical digestion and what is mean by this chemical digestion, right? Once we take a food, it exists as a large piece. So our first task is to break it physically, because we can't absorb the nutrients in this large food at once, right? If it is a biscuit or a fruit or a kind of boiled vegetable or anything, you can't directly absorb it. Therefore, you should break it into small pieces. Breaking up into small pieces. Break into pieces. This break-in process is maybe a cut-in process or break-in process. Cut, break, and also tearing, tear, irala ganno gini, tearing, and finally cut, break, tear, and grind. Right. These are the process of breaking that large food into small particles. Breaking food stuffs into small particles. Then this process is the first mechanical process, mechanical breaking. Also, we can further break them into simple particles by churning it. Once we churn, grinding and churning, right? Mixing, grinding, churning, then we can make it to a food lump. But still, there is a problem. The problem is in this food, it contains carbohydrates, carbs, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. They are major molecules, and also they are polysaccharides, polymers. Carbohydrate is a polysaccharide. Protein also are a polymer. Lipids also a polymer. They are polymers. As they are big or the long chains of molecules, we can't directly absorb them. Therefore, there should be a proper system to break them down into tiny pieces. I mean chemical pieces. So there should be a chemical breaking up. That's why we call there is a chemical breaking also. These large or the lump of food contains carbohydrate, protein, and lipids. We have to break them into their monomers, the simple molecule. Monomer of the carbohydrate is the glucose. You all know this. Glucose is the monomer. Proteins, it is the amino acid. Lipids are made of fatty acid and glycerol. Right. Finally, after the end of this whole process, there should be monomers, glucose, amino acids, and the fatty acids or glycerine. Then we can absorb them. Usually, vitamins and minerals, they are simple molecules. They are not the major molecules or they are not polymers, vitamins and minerals. Therefore, vitamins and minerals can be directly absorbed. So there should not be, there is no special method to break it. Actually, it is a useless thing, right? Useless fact. Though, so look at this. First, mechanically we break it, and thereafter we have to break this carbohydrate, protein, lipids chemically with enzymes. I think don't know whether we can discuss this part. I mean the chemical digestion. Let's try whether we can finish it. First, we have to finish or discuss this mechanical digestion and the parts of the human digestive system. Now, before starting that one, I'm trying to make a definition for this digestion. What is digestion? Now you know all the steps and this process. This is the definition for the digestion. This is really important. I will put you the note, and in the note also this definition is included. Right? This is how it comes. Break in food. Break in food into simple absorbable form is the digestion. Breaking food into simple absorbable form is the digestion. Just breaking up it is not the digestion. Simple and absorbable form like the simple molecules. So I have included that in your note. You can copy down the note that all the systems also have given at the as the introductory part. So today itself I will upload the note as well, as a PDF file. Then after, let's move on to the digestive system and let's learn about the digestive system and its parts. So look at this. This time I will go for a small image here. I'm searching for an image. 1 minute, please. And this is the image that I have given to you. And I will upload this image also as a mm, as kind of image or the picture here. Then you can take a printout of this. Finally, you can label the parts. Okay. So that image will be given as a kind of JPG file or the image file. You can take that image file and take a printout. So there are a number of printouts including the digestive and the respiratory system both. First take a printout, and while you are writing the note you can paste them in the proper or the suitable places. Right, let's see the parts of the human digestive system. First I will explain them on the board, then I will show you two or three images to understand the real nature of these structures. While I am drawing the diagram here, I will explain their functions as well. So let's discuss the structure and the function. Okay, right. Let's erase this part. Here it is. Our digestive system starts from the mouth, right? Here's the mouth, here's the nose. Nasal cavity and the mouth cavity both comes into one place, right? This is the chin and the lips. So the both comes into common passage first. Thereafter, through that common passage, the air tract and the digestive tract separate. The tube, this tube can call as the food pipe or the esophagus. This esophagus runs down, and the windpipe here, there is the windpipe here. Wait a bit. This is the food pipe, this is the windpipe. And it comes to a common bag like a structure. This is the stomach. Food stores in a stomach. Then it opens to another tube. This is the small intestine, that is the first part of the small intestine. We call this part as the duodenum. Then it slowly runs through a long tube called small intestine. This is the jejunum part. And now you can see the tube, how long it is. And there are a number of convolutions in this. Finally, after convoluting through this, it comes into an end here. This is the end of the small intestine, right? It runs here and there in a large space. Thereafter, it opens into common passage like sorry, another common place here called cecum, and this is the large intestine. It's called large intestine. Fine, largest intestine finishes with the rectum. Here's the rectum. Basically, this is the plan of human digestive system. I think you can't exact at once you can't remember all the things. These are the associated organ. There is an organ. This is the largest internal organ called liver, triangular organ. And there is another special organ related to this, that is called gallbladder. There is a tube coming to the gallbladder from the liver, and another tube leaving from the gallbladder to this duodenum. A tube coming here to the gallbladder, and I think if it is not clear, I will redraw this one. First, a tube comes and a kind of fluid collect in this bag. Then another tube leaves from this, another tube leaving, and it is connecting with this. So there is a secretion coming here from the liver and collecting in the gallbladder. Another associated organ is there. That organ is called pancreas. It also secretes some things into the digestive system. Pancreas. It looks like this sort of. And there are organs associated here. There are three organs called salivary glands nearby that, and there are tubes also comes to secrete the saliva into the mouth. Now these are the parts. Let's see what happens to a food or the food molecule once we take that into our body. First thing, imagine that we are eating a food. First thing, we take this food into the mouth. Mouth has teeth and a tongue. Teeth and tongue are important to grind or chew this food, chew in the food. It does these things. It cuts, break, tear, and grind the food. Cutting, breaking, tearing, and grind. That means completely mechanical digestion. Mechanically they break up. Okay, right. Food is taken into the mouth and teeth break them, cutting, tearing and chewing of other grinding. Tongue mixes that with the saliva. Physical digestion, mechanical digestion starts here. Let's put a cross to mechanical digestion, dot to the chemical digestion. At this side, physical digestion or mechanical digestion take place as well as chemical digestion take place. Both occur in these two places. Mechanical digestion and chemical digestion both starts. Because saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. Salivary amylase start the food to break up. Now you know the function of our mouth. Uh, it has been adapted to mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. Mechanical and chemical digestion. And also uh, this the mouth is or the buccal cavity is adapted for the chemical digestion with the secretions come with the saliva. That part is okay. Then what happens? Food comes to this junction. This one. This is called pharynx. Pharynx is the common passage in between common passage that the nasal cavity and the mouth cavity meet. Mouth cavity and nasal cavity both meet at the pharynx. Food comes to that common passage. Now there is a problem. Once the food lump comes to this place, food lump has two paths to go. One is the windpipe, other one is the food pipe. Windpipe and the food pipe. It must go through the through the food pipe. But if this pipe opens, normally that will easily go to this pipe. If somehow if it is goes through the windpipe, we call it as a choke-in. Choke-in. If food goes into the choke-in, with a cuff we remove it. Now we must prevent this choke-in. To prevent choke-in, there is a muscular flap. There is a muscular flap here which can use to close this windpipe when we swallow. When we swallow the food, it can be closed by that small flap. Its name is epiglottis. 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 So epiglottis guide the food to travel into the food pipe. While we are swallowing something, we should not speak or we should not laugh. If you laugh or speak, then the flap opens to take or to send air out. When it happens, if the food stuffs remain in that place, I mean the pharynx, that food will enter to our windpipe or the trachea. Then cough will comes. The foodstuffs will go from the mouth. Sometimes from the nose even they can come. I think you have experiences. It's called choking. In Sinhala we call පිටවුගුර යනවා, ඉස්මොල්ල යනවා, එක එක වචන කියනවා. Choking is the English term. So now you know how this epiglottis work and the function of the pharynx. Then food travels through this tube. This is the esophagus. Through esophagus it travels. The movement of the esophagus and this food uh, the tract, I mean the small intestine, that bowel movement is a particular one. They are made of or they are covered by muscles. Therefore there is a muscular movement. Muscular movement. Once you swallow the food will be just squeezed down, just like you are taking toothpaste from the toothpaste tube. The direction that you are holding the toothpaste is no matter actually. If you hold it upwards, the toothpaste will come up as you are squeezing upwards. If you hold it downwards as you are squeezing down, then it comes down. If you squeeze side, also the same. Therefore, when that process take place, how does the esophagus push it down? And what will happen if you eat or swallow food if you stand upright? I mean inverted, by keeping our legs stop. And if you eat something and swallow, what will happen? Will it go to our head, or will it remain in the mouth without traveling? No, actually it can work against the gravity. If you swallow it, that means you are giving the stimuli to start the muscular movements throughout the esophagus. Those are called peristalsis process. Peristalsis. Gradually, and I mean what we call regularly, or it's called actually orderly, the muscles will be contract from the nearest to the farthest, nearest to farthest, contracting and squeezing and putting it into the stomach. Right. I think we can watch a video, small video of that one. So let's move on to this part, and I will show you a small video clip of the action of epiglottis and the peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements. So I'm finding or searching it. Here it is.
The autonomic nervous system controls
Now you can see this.
contractions of the alimentary
Right.
canal that move swallowed
Watch
food
this.
down the esophagus, churn the stomach, and move chyme through the small intestine and large intestine. The alimentary canal is a single, continuous tube that includes the oral cavity,
Take in
esophagus,
food in. This is the
stomach,
esophagus.
and
This
intestines.
is the stomach, and this is the
The tissue layers
intestine.
that form the walls of the tube
And that
include
is the
two
muscle
layers of smooth
arrangement in
muscle.
the
The
intestine.
contraction and relaxation of these
So this
muscles
is how
is
the
called
muscle movements
peristalsis.
make.
One peristaltic wave can be enough
Once
to
we
move a
take the
bolus down the
footballers, did you
esophagus
see
and
that?
into the stomach.
I will
It can be
replay that
enough to
part.
move
Look
a
at the
bolus down the
action of the
esophagus and into
epiglottis.
the stomach.
Epiglottis
In the
guide it to
intestines,
the
the
proper
waves are
place.
smaller and more
Then
regular.
this
As
type
one
of
section of the
movements start.
intestine contracts, the section in front
Peristaltic
relaxes.
movements.
This occurs in the
I
rhythmic.
will replay that
One
one here.
peristaltic wave can be
Look
enough
at
to move a
how this
bolus down
is
the
guiding actually. Epiglottis, if you can see my cursor, then you can see this part. Epiglottis has bent and it's folding or downwards
esophagus
and
and into the
guiding it.
stomach.
Then look at the nature of the esophagus. Esophagus walls are contracting and pushing it or the squeezing
In the
it
intestines,
downwards.
the waves are smaller and more
Like this,
regular.
it's
As
translated.
one section of the intestine contracts, the section in front relaxes. This occurs in the rhythmic, wave-like patterns that create the peristalsis that propels substances forward.
Okay.
The autonomic
And now you know how peristalsis is working here. So thereafter food will come to this site. That is very important site. This site is the stomach. Food stays 20 to here in this place. Food stays 20 minutes to 4 hours. There are two flaps or two gates here, right? And those gates will be closed once the food reach this place. And here in this side, this is the site where we complete the mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion will be finished at that site. So once we eat a food and we just swallow the food and we don't think how much we can eat, or we don't take enough time to grind them. We don't take enough time to grind them, then we just gulp and put them. into the stomach, but stomach complete the rest. Stomach muscles are very strong, right? And also stomach muscles are arranged in particular manner, particular way. So I think I can find a small video for that, not videos, kind of image for this. Just wait till I load it. Now you can see the nature of the other organs. Look at the nature of the wall of this stomach. Can you see the nature? It has muscles, and inside is very rough. Looks like very rough one. And the food stuffs coming and collecting into this site. So stomach can grind it further. And see how this liver and the gallbladder is connecting or the running around it. Now let's talk about this one. A chemical secrete into the stomach. The chemical mainly contains an acid called hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid. And also enzymes secrete, especially the pepsin enzyme. And with the enzymes it come, this juice is called gastric juice, right? Gastric juice. Gastric juice is acidic. It's an acidic one. And that means its pH value is a less value. Less pH value is there. That less pH value is very important for the chemical digestion. Because enzymes are acting in acidic media more conveniently than in normal media. Therefore, it provides the optimum pH value needed for the chemical digestion. So let's see, in this site also we can see both the mechanical and chemical digestion take place. Both mechanical and chemical digestion take place in this site. Thereafter, food will stay, as I mentioned, 20 minutes to 4 hours. Finally, food becomes kind of a porridge-like thing. That means very thick fluid, right? That thick fluid will be slowly sent out from this. So this is another important place. Which place is that? This is the duodenum. At the site of the duodenum, we add that chemicals into the food, especially enzymes. Several enzymes come, three enzymes actually coming from this one, from the pancreas. Enzymes to digest carbohydrate, enzymes to digest proteins and lipids. Three enzymes mainly coming from the pancreas and getting added to the food here. Also, there is a liquid coming here. This is called bile. Bile is temporarily stored in the gallbladder, but gallbladder doesn't produce it. Gallbladder just store only. Liver produces that. Right? Liver produces and temporarily stores here. And remember, bile is not an enzyme. Bile is a chemical which make the lipid globules in the lipid digestion. When talking about the chemical digestion process, I will explain how lipid digestion works. Now, those enzymes also get added to this one. Now added, thereafter food stuff or the food coming through this tube. This is the small intestine. Small intestine also have special arrangement. It's a long tube. If you see that on the screen now, I will show it. The nature of this tube. Look at that. This is the small intestine. It's a long tube. Food travel long time here. Chemical digestion completes at this site. No mechanical digestion is taken place here. But the absorption starts. Absorption of nutrients starts at this site. That is the small intestine. That's how a small intestine looks like, and only chemical digestion take place here. And the other fact is absorption starts. Actually, the absorption of simple materials start at the stomach, just like medicines and some other things like alcohol or such simple chemicals are absorbed at this site. And absorption take place here as well. Chemical digestion also occur. Chemical digestion take place. Finally, it has special adaptations, several adaptations for a efficient absorption or the efficient absorption of the nutrients. I will try to show you another small image of similar type of one. Let me find that one. Right. First image shows you the blood supply comes through these tubes. There is a rich blood supply, very good blood supply. With that blood supply, we can gain the nutrients into the blood. So that's the first adaptation. Being a long tube is the first adaptation. It's a long tube. Second one, there's a proper blood supply. And the third one is this adaptation. See this as well. Look at this. This special structure, look at the nature of the surface. It has finger-like projections. These are called villi, and three different layers. The muscle layers are important for the peristaltic movements, and food stays long time among these villi. Therefore, food gets more time to absorb, as well as you can see their surface area has been increased by this. And not only that small villi or the finger-like structures, there are microvilli on them. Therefore, food is absorbed very nicely, or I mean, it takes a long, what it provides long tube, large surface, and also good blood supply. And that is how the small intestine has increased its absorbing power or the efficiency by change in the nature of the surface. Right. Thereafter, food will pass into this cecum. Cecum is the beginning of the small large intestine. It is a cup-like part, and there is small organ called appendix. It's just like small, very small finger-like one. This process actually has no any particular function. And it is important for the cellulose digestion in the herbivore animals. We are rarely taking the uncooked food, or the direct cellulose will not be digested in our body. Therefore, this part is not much important for the digestive process, but just I mentioned this. This is called appendix. Then food will be thrown into this space. Actually, the things come in here is still comes as a liquid man. It comes as a liquid or like a fluid manner. But most of nutrients are already absorbed in this. Still some water content here. Absorption of water take place in large large intestine. No digestions take place in it, only the absorption of water. Large intestine has five parts actually. I just say this one. You should not remember those names. Cecum, the beginning part, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and the rectum. Rectum is important. Rectum also belong to the large intestine. For temporary store, food means undigested food. Now you can't call it exactly the food, but it is not a waste matter. Still, that is the remnant of the food digestion. That is that stores in this place and remains in this site. While it stay in that place, it takes certain time for the water absorption. We don't eject just after having a meal. Normally, once a day or twice a day we eject. Therefore, until we eject, these things should be stored in the large intestine, or the last part of the large intestine, that is the rectum. And keeping food long time here without ejecting will cause constipation. That means the food will become more solidified, then it will be tough to pass out. Once we pass in this out, then it will trans through this anus, and the remaining food items or indigested and unabsorbed food, indigested and unabsorbed food will be sent out from this hole called anus, that is the ejection. And now we learnt the nature of these organs and their functions. So I'm not going to discuss the chemical digestion today itself, then therefore I will postpone it to the next week. And remember, from this, by based on this video, I will ask questions when we are having the Zoom lesson. That is why you have to actively participate or engage in this lesson. That's why I ask you to watch the lesson. You can write down the note, but orally I will ask the questions when we do those uh, but the Zoom discussion or the meeting conferences. Again, this is the summary of the lesson. Hurry up, let's catch up those things. Uh, Digestion is of two types: mechanical and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion means breaking food into simple particles, or the mechanically breaking the food. Thereafter, breaking up that broken particles or the broken chemicals into more simple chemical forms, the chemical digestion. Enzymes are participate in this process. Then, digestive system has several organs. Basically, let's name them here. This is the mouth cavity, buccal cavity, and next we can see this one. This is the pharynx, the common passage, and epiglottis found inside the pharynx. This is the esophagus or the food pipe, stomach, duodenum, the first part of the small intestine, and small intestine or ileum part, and large intestine, parts of the large intestine: cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and rectum, anus. This is appendix. Associated organs: salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, pancreas. They are the associated glands. And the process: physical digestion starts at mouth and continue up to the stomach, finishes at the stomach. Chemical digestion starts at mouth, continues in the stomach, further continues in the small intestine, and finishes at small intestine. Absorption starts at liver, the stomach. Absorption starts at the stomach, continues in the small intestine, and also final the water content will be absorbed at the large intestine. That is how these processes run on. The juice secreted into the stomach is called gastric juice. It contains HCl acid, hydrochloric acid. Acidic media is very important for the chemical digestion or the enzyme digestion. That is the summary. Watch it and just take them into your mind and get ready uh, for the Zoom discussion. And I will ask few questions, oral questions related to the digestive system. This is the first part of the digestive system. Next week, we will discuss about chemical digestion and the diseases associated with the digestive system. Goodbye, everybody.